Guys, we made it to part 5 of my Columbine series. Yay. You might remember that last week I'd start off by saying that I wasn't feeling very well. I was just going to go ahead and plow through part 4 of my series. And funny thing about that is that actually, a couple hours after I had finished filming part 4, I actually blew an ovarian cyst. So I've actually spent the past week pretty much just laid up in bed, missing work, all that fun stuff, and I'm actually still feeling a little bit uncomfortable today, but again, it is Saturday, so I'm going to go ahead and do this anyway. I am going to try to go back to work tomorrow because I'm feeling better than I was Saturday night, Sunday morning, so let's go ahead and get started then, okay? So part 4, I had left off with me finally going home after the shooting when Mom and Joe had come to pick me up, and there was actually one funny detail that I left out from when I was at the public library. In between calling home and calling the shop, and before I took it was after that, but before I took my witness statement down, I'd actually been playing on the computer a bit at the public libraries, looking on Yahoo and stuff, checking the news like I normally do, like when I went home in school, and I even had the brief thought of maybe I should go ahead and just go over to Mediaplay because I don't want to hang around here, which kind of shows you how shell-shocked I probably was to even be able to consider something so normal as to go over across the street to Mediaplay. But in the end, I decided that would have been a bad idea, so I stayed at the library where I was, and then my witness statement got taken, and I told you the rest from there. So, anyway, Mom and Joe came. Mom came and she took me home. She'd actually had to park on the street because all of Bowles and Pierce and all the streets around the school, they'd all been blocked off. So Mom had actually had to park on Bowles itself a little ways away. So we had to walk a little ways away from the library to get to the car. And then she took me home, and I discovered when I got home, I got my cat next to me here. When I got home, I just discovered that I had 6. On the caller ID, I saw that my friend Ashley had called me 6 times, and so I went ahead and I called her back. I sat on the front porch, talked with her on the phone for a little bit. Then I looked down and I noticed this big old scratch running down the length of my leg, and I hadn't even noticed it before, and I can only guess it was probably from when I had to climb over the fence to get to Clement Park. So that was the first time I noticed that, and it was at this time. Well, before I get beyond that, when everyone had been cowering behind the police cars, I had heard from some of the kids that there were 3 or 4 kids dead in the library, and while I was on the phone with Ashley sitting on the porch, and my mom came out and she said the news had been reporting 25 dead and 25 injured. All I could do was just put my head in my hand, just go, God, God, just like that. And after that, I want to directly across the street to one of our neighbors' houses. There's this elderly couple who lived directly across the street from us, Leo and Star, and so I went over there and I talked with Star for a little bit, and I just letting her know that, yeah, I'm okay, and she gave me a flower from her garden. And then also at that point, I decided, well, my family liked to go to Video City on a regular basis to rent videos, and plus we were kind of sort of buddies with the people who ran the store, so I decided to go and walk up to Video City at that point in time and just to let the people know there that I was okay. And I walked up to Video City, and the place was completely abandoned. There was no customers in the store at all, and both the TVs in the store were turned to the news, of course, and the only person working at the time was the store manager, Diane, and I let her know that, yeah, I'm okay, and we talked for a little bit, and I went home. And Mom had actually had to go pick up Josh, from my little brother, from school because his elementary school had gone on lockdown during the shooting, and so she had to go sign him out and pick him up, bring him home after that. And also at some point during the day, I also went and signed on to AOL, and I let my friends on there know that I was okay. I got pretty much everybody I was friends with just IMing right away, saying, "Oh my God, Amanda," or "Oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay?" Because at that time, AOL profiles, you have the option of listing where you lived and stuff. So when people saw I lived in Littleton, I got people eyeing me asking, "Oh my God, are you okay? Did you know what happened? Or did you go to that school at all?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, that was my school." I told them, "Yeah, I'm okay." And later that evening, the counselor who I mentioned in one of my earlier videos that there's a counselor coming to our house every week to help us deal with Dad and everything that was going on. And she'd actually been there that morning, but she went ahead and came back that evening to talk with me. And I'm sitting there on the couch talking with her, and Laura, she'd had to go get something out of the trunk of Mom's car, so she went, while we're talking, Laura went into the garage, and I hear her slam down the trunk lid, and I jump, and I just start groaning, and Laura immediately runs back in, she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I was just like, I couldn't really say anything, it was just like, I knew it was just the trunk, but just the sudden noise just startled me a little bit, suffice to say. And then at the end of the evening, I'm laying there at the foot of my waterbed, just laying there, just kind of zoning out. And I told Laura I can still hear the gunshots, and she's just, all she could say was just, "I know." And then the next day, I couldn't tell you how late I slept, and I don't know what time I woke up. I kind of woke up the next morning, still kind of in a daze. Went upstairs, stumbled down the driveway to get the newspaper. I already knew what the newspaper was going to be about, but I grabbed the newspaper anyway, went back inside. I opened up the newspaper, and on the front page of the Rocky Mountain News, on the cover page, there's this picture of this Asian girl next to this blonde girl who's holding her head in her hands like this. You probably know the image that I'm talking about. You've probably seen it by now everywhere. And it's not the blonde girl I know, it's the Asian girl that I noticed, because she had been there with me behind the police car after everyone got out of the library. I'd seen her holding this other injured girl saying, "Hold on, Gina, hold on," and I recognized her right away. And then I go looking through the newspaper. I get mentioned in a couple articles, and there's also this mention about a teacher who'd gotten wounded and the battle to save him, and that ended up being Mr. Sanders. At the time, nobody knew that Mr. Sanders had already died. The article was just about the effort to save him, so there wasn't anything in the article about his condition or anything about that. And on another page, few more pages, and I think it was on like page 13 or something, there's this image of some kids hiding behind a police car in the parking lot with a police officer with his gun drawn, and over on the other side of the picture you can see this kid in a green sweatshirt just sprawled out on the sidewalk dead, and that turned out to be Danny Rorbaugh. And that image kind of struck me, because it's like, you knew he was dead just looking at him. I can only imagine. I actually heard later that was how his parents found out that he was dead, was by seeing that image in the paper the next morning, because that must have been absolutely horrifying. There should have been no excuse for that at all, to find out that way that your son's dead. Just nothing at all. And not really much else to say within my 10-minute limit here, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave it off at that, guys. That pretty much settles the actual date of the 20th itself. If you want, I can go ahead and keep going with the stuff that happened at Chatfield and the next few years after that, if you like. You can go ahead and leave your comments in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and leave it at that, guys, and I will see you next week with part 6 of my Columbine series. I really hope you're learning something from this, and I will answer any questions that you might have, no matter how morbid or personal you think they might be. I'll be more happy to go and answer them, so don't be shy about asking your questions. I will go ahead and answer them. And I'm being redundant here, but I do want to thank you guys again for watching my videos. I'll see you again next week. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye.